You got this and you got that, and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know that I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, Guapito. What's poppin', baby?
My William Hill account is like this, Connie.
Oh, shit.
Man.
Oh, shit.
This
All
guy.
right, bro, I guess you won. Congrats on the W, bro.
Yeah, you know how many picks?
Congrats, man.
You know how many picks he sent us? 0. I keep asking. Hey, throw me a pick.
You guys can
He just knows all the sharp picks. Knows every one. Never loses. Gives us nothing.
If you're a member, he might give you some picks.
Now, when you say that your account is ballooning,
Yes.
how many pennies are we talking here? Or are you measuring in pesos?
If we're measuring in pesos, I should retire and move to Cancun.
Okay,
now.
yeah. Let's go.
But yeah, it's looking good, man. I'm happy.
Yeah, made a couple dimes.
Yeah,
Wait a
if you
minute.
will. Did okay.
So ever since you started taking Weekend Warrior UFC, you're 4-0.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Crushes it.
Bro's cooking. Let bro cook.
We will get to those Weekend Warrior picks at the end of the show as my Caliente pick once again
May or may not have succeeded.
may or may not have come through. We'll discuss a little bit of that as well as the weekend that was the NFL towards the end of the show. Before we get to that, we got a lot of poker. A lot of poker to talk about. It's a good Monday. It's always a great Monday when there is poker on the docket. And I got to tell you, this game of gold, man, it does not disappoint.
It's gold.
It does not disappoint at all. Watched episode 5 this morning, so spoilers for anybody who hadn't. You might want to turn away.
Man, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like most shows, you get one a week.
That's true.
If you're lucky.
That is true. There is the aspect of, we're going to get to watch a lot of poker through those 3 episodes. So it's like, it's 3 episodes a week, but it's only really 1 episode of moving the storyline along.
I like it.
I mean, we love it because,
We like it.
More content is good.
Well, yeah, and we're also very much
We like
hardos
poker.
when it comes to poker.
Yeah.
Like we'll sit here and we'll break down a limp pot in a heads up match for 15 minutes. But I thought today was very much like episode 1. It's a great mix. It's so good to see the element of the game kind of unfold. We predicted a little bit of this.
We were right.
We were.
We were mostly right.
Close. We were very close.
Yeah.
I was right.
You were right about what?
How it's team captains.
I'm sorry. You were?
Yeah.
Does anyone else have recollection of Conrad saying the winning team would be the captains?
No, I believe that.
Definitely said that.
I think we said that the winners of each sit and go would be the captains, and it ended up being the winning team.
Yeah,
would split up and be captains.
I thought we all agreed upon that.
I don't recollect.
Oh, right. It's winning team. Yeah, we were a little bit off. We were off.
Yeah, I don't recollect the whole team captain thing, but if I had to give any feedback, I feel really bad that they're doing the whole, like it takes me back to elementary school when they have like the 2
Schoolyard pick.
right, where it's like, and you just know who's going to be last.
Last
That's
picked in gym
good.
class.
No, man,
That's great.
I feel
No,
bad.
we
That
love
is
that.
fucking amazing.
We want
need more of
pain.
that.
We want pain
We're
for
adults, man.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Feel bad for her. That's fine. But,
You know why they started
Somebody had to be last.
You know why they started this in gym class? So you can get some callus on your head, in your brain. You know what I mean?
I respect that.
Yeah. Doggy dog.
You all got to toughen up a little bit.
Josh actually made a tweet thread about it.
About the draft?
Getting picked second to last, where like prior him would have been like really pissed about it. Where like newer him doesn't care as much.
Yeah. Well, he's rich now.
Yeah, he's rich, has money.
He's a hot fiance.
Yeah, soon to be wife.
Soon to be wife.
Yeah.
Bro's,
Also, it's
bro's
probably
just living.
And it's also the game of poker. It's not basketball, right? Where in poker it's like
because if it was basketball, Josh would be really upset.
right. Well, it's like in the sense of in this kind of game, like if people underestimate you and you have some sort of hidden edge or whatever, it's a good thing. Where in basketball, like if you're last, you're the most athletic. Like there's no redeeming quality here.
Well, I mean, you could just be a a big time rebounder like myself.
That's you go hard in the paint.
I turned into Wojciechowski out there, just slapping the floor. Like, you want to pick me last? I'll body up the 6'7" guy.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
But you actually have nothing to lose, so you'll fist fight
That's
their
right.
best player.
That's right. I'm there. I'm there for the physicality.
This happened in high school basketball, actually. Someone on a high school team that wasn't very good, like literally just started shit with one of the best players on the other opposing team, and they both got ejected.
I played enough hockey to know that you need an enforcer, and maybe that's not a thing in basketball, but god damn it, I'm gonna make it a thing.
The kid got ejected from the game and then tried to go watch the game from the stands.
That's reasonable, I think.
They're like, no, you have to leave.
Leave the building. You're ejected from the building.
Ejected means ejected from the building. Correct.
That's right. Okay, so we're gonna pretend like Conrad predicted that it was gonna be the winning team.
Nice call, Connie. Nice call.
Good job. You're a smart guy.
I appreciate you guys.
You're a smart guy, Conrad.
They did go by coins though, so I guess there's some more advantage there. Like Yo got to pick first because he had the most coins, and he won match 3.
Yep.
So match 3 actually had the most amount of coins for first.
Right. Well, no.
I think.
No, match 4 did.
How much?
There was very little.
Oh right, sorry. DW. Wait. So, right. DW wasn't a team captain. That's
Correct.
why he had the most coins. Got it.
Well, yeah, he has the most coins.
Right. But he wasn't a captain, so he couldn't choose. But if he could have, he would have won first.
Correct.
Got it.
I think.
Yo had the most coins out of the team that won.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. For some reason, I thought I remembered seeing the graphic of Yo having the most with 100.
That's what I saw.
But that wouldn't make sense.
His DW won the bigger one.
Yeah, he won the bigger sit and go.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let me check.
But anyway, what did you guys think about the draft strategy? We kind of discussed a little bit, like,
so maybe you got coins for being the winning team as well. Maybe you got extra coins there too.
Oh yeah,
right? Because
you're right. Everyone else on the winning team got 30 extra coins.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Right, that's what happened. So Yo does have the most. And then here we are now.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yep, that makes okay. Got it. So he still would have got it.
So what did you guys think about the draft order?
Yeah, picking jungle
snake order.
Yeah, you just mean like picking jungle first?
Strategy wise, yeah.
Team. If it's okay, so they knew it was a team heads up.
He wanted Fedor, but he couldn't have Fedor.
Yo viral picking Fedor was the funniest shit.
He's like, I'll take Fedor, and they're like, you can't take him. He's a captain.
I think Yo makes a pretty big mistake picking jungle first.
I mean, he essentially folded in the big blind.
Quite honestly, I would have picked somebody. I think I would have picked Maria first, honestly.
He went second.
Why?
Care to elaborate?
Yeah.
You just said someone made a mistake and you would have picked someone else and nothing else.
I don't want somebody that's the best in the world heads up
You don't know it's a heads up match.
later on.
You don't know.
No, we don't know.
You don't know that it's going to be
I asked
close.
the same thing.
What I do know is at some point it's going to be heads up for 456,000 probably.
But that's not
But
important.
you see that it's going to be round by round. The teams are going to change.
No, of course, but I would just try to make my team as strong as possible without the absolute goats on it.
I think there's a balance, right? Because like you want to accumulate the most coins, but you also want to give yourself the best chance to keep advancing. So, I mean, picking the best player that's out there is probably going to give you the best chance to advance, but maybe not give you the best chance to accumulate the most coins in this round. So it's a give or take.
It kind of worked out for him though.
Well, yeah, because he got to go
he
first.
He picked jungle and also went first.
Well, jungle letting Yo go first is
nuts.
Insane.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Beyond clear that jungle's not thinking about the meta strategy of the game.
And Yo is.
Yeah, Yo's very sharp, it would appear. I think that I would push back a little bit that I don't think the objective is to necessarily accumulate all of the coins. I think coins in this game format are kind of a currency to set up the most profitable finale that you can navigate yourself through. So what I mean by that is in this round, it's very clear that people who have coins have the ability to manipulate the scenario to the best of their desire, I guess, as far as starting to create alliances, setting yourself up in a situation to both accumulate coins, advance, but also keep people in your favor down the line that will benefit you in some sort of capacity. So, for example, We don't know what's going to happen on the other teams, and we kind of got a little teaser of this prior with David Williams saying, like, I'll happily give up the coins type of thing. Yo has the most amount of coins. Jungle is the best heads-up player in the remaining event, period. Like, it's very, very clear that it's Jungle, Fedor, and then everybody else, right? As far as, like, heads-up experience
Charlie's
goes.
pretty good, right?
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
But, like,
he's not in that level.
Well, as far as people that have played the most heads up, I would assume it's Jungle and Fedor, and it's not even remotely close.
Okay.
And I think, like, I think it's like wild how little people know about Jungle. Jungle's been playing heads up for.
It's unreal.
Jungle's been playing heads up for like 15 years. Like Robin saying that Nikita would have an advantage against Jungle is maddening. I mean, it's just
so
like
does another lure.
I mean, yeah, it's just like this is insane. I don't know how good Nikita is or isn't at heads up, but like I can promise you, she has no edge versus Jungle. I don't think anyone there has an edge versus Jungle. So it's like in that particular instance, obviously you want to accumulate coins for the finale, but he already has 100, so he already knows he's going to go into the finale with. If he makes the finale, he already knows he's going to go there with 100 big blinds. And in this particular instance, I don't know what Yo's heads up capabilities are, but. You know, him deferring to Jungle to go first and then him getting to go second isn't much of a hit.
Yeah.
He would still be able to accumulate all coins. Now, the other strategy of why you wouldn't want to do that is because personally, I wouldn't want Jungle to accumulate coins. He's too good.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also why I would have never picked Jungle. I would be picking teams based off of what mediocre players can I help advance through to the next round while trying to potentially eliminate talent,
Right.
like what happened in
You
first
want to
round.
try to chop off.
That's
Yeah, make the
basically what I
final round
said.
as soft
I know
as
that's what you
possible.
said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I wasn't disagreeing with you.
The way you started, I thought you were disagreeing. I was like, wait.
No, I was disagreeing with Brian, kind of putting a major emphasis on just accumulating coins. I don't think that's
So
necessarily
your
the goal.
first pick is somebody you think is like mediocre enough to keep and still good, better than the field, but not in the top tier.
Yes.
It's not the top 3, I'll say.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
I probably would have gotten. I probably would have taken the worst of it because not knowing that it was a heads up and not really being able to anticipate that it was going to be heads up. Like in my mind, if I had to think of it, how it would work round by round, I would have thought that the last round would have been heads up. So I wouldn't have necessarily drafted based off of heads up prowess.
No.
And I would have taken Olga first.
Got it.
Because I think she would defer to me and I think she's a really strong player. And now in this format, I would have got fucked bad. Right. But yeah, my targets would have been like Olga, Lucas, I think like Andy.
Like middle pack defer is what you want.
Middle pack and people who are going to let me set the strategy.
Right.
I think the final is going to be a 6-handed sit and go.
I think you're probably right.
It's poker after dark,
Yeah.
right? Like it just makes sense. That
Wow,
the finals
meta
is
Brian.
6-handed, yeah.
The meta
winner
game
take all
turtle.
sit and go. Right.
This man has so much Bravo in his belt. He knows exactly what's about
I know
to
how
happen.
these reality shows shape out.
Okay, wait a minute. So
See it
there's
all.
12 left now. So one
It'll
team's
be
going to get
down to
eliminated.
8.
It's going to be down to 9.
9,
8.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, the 3 hands.
And then they'll do
Yep.
3 teams
And then
of
we'll do
3.
3 teams of 3.
You
Probably.
Or maybe we
Maybe
go
we-
solo. Maybe we
you
start
lo-
flying solo.
Down to 9, then you lose three more, and then you have the final.
Maybe if yeah. Well, and there's 3 team components, right? It's like this is round 2, and
We
then
don't
there's
know.
round 3.
We don't know what the
Or we
third
don't
round
know.
is.
Right.
We don't know. It could
Like
be
we don't know if
anything.
it's going to be teams
It
again
could
or
be
not.
yeah.
Right.
It could
Got
be
it.
could be some sort of individual thing where the bottom 3 get eliminated.
Yeah, so Aoife brings up a good point though.
Look at the list again.
Yo does know that he's almost certain to get Kaina. So you would almost have to draft according to that aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think I would necessarily go top of the top, just because no matter what format you play, it's going to be really high variance. Even these heads up sit and goes, there isn't a huge edge to garner. Like Jungle's for sure the best, but like he's probably in like his highest in his highest advantage match, like say it's him versus Kaina, he's probably like 58-42, maybe 60-40 at most, you know? So it's like you can still kind of draft to your strategy knowing that it's an individual game at the end of the day and you don't have nearly as much control over advancing round by round as you think. Like, I would happily let a super team develop here because
that's what happened in the first round.
Right. Right. So, like, letting a super team develop, what ends up happening is, sure, they increase their likelihood of 3 strong players advancing to the next round, but alternatively, they can still be eliminated in a cluster, which eliminates 3 really strong competitors.
Yeah.
And I don't think, just based off the format with there being so much variance, I don't think that even a super team has so much edge that they advance like half the time more often, or sorry, twice as often as the weakest team.
Yeah, and then now you get like you said, three very strong players just out in one fell swoop.
Yeah. So I mean, like, essentially the way I see the formats kind of playing out, it's always high risk. You're always at high risk of your team being eliminated, and the amount of control that you have over that isn't really as much as you think. So I would just always look for my own personal selfish endeavors.
It happened in round 1, right? There was a super team and they got eliminated.
Yeah, like when you're in the prime position of like Yo being the captain or any of the captains for that matter, I would just be looking out for number 1, and that would be trying to disguise any of my decisions thereafter based off of what I thought would appear to look like it benefits the team. But that's kind of the thing, right? If you draft somewhat of a slightly softer team, you kind of get to set the strategy yourself, and you make it look like it's one for all and all for one. You know, like if you end up with say Yo goes first and he ends up with like I don't know, David and Kaina. It's pretty clear what the pecking order there is going to be. It's just going to be Yo, David, Kaina, and that makes it like really easy. Now all you have to do is...
David might want to go first.
Well, he's going to want to go first. So, like, you know, you probably don't take David because he's sharp on the meta strategy.
I'm looking at the list now. I'm trying to figure out my own list. Now it's like, call it gamesman-wise. Like, Josh, Arya might want to go first.
No. I think you can get Arya to defer. Like, yeah, he might want to go first, but I think you can win that argument.
Yeah. Like, end of the day, still have to win.
Like, I think it would be harder to win the argument with Maria unless you're Fedor, which is so sharp by him. Because he's the one guy on that cast that she'll defer to. They're friends. She recognizes his brilliance. When it comes to poker-related things, she's just always going to kind of put him on a pedestal. Yeah. So he's like literally maybe the only guy on the entire show that she would defer to. Like, I think she would fight Jungle for the number 1 spot. But like far, far, far less so with Fedor because they have mutual respect for one another.
They did get in a fight. We saw a Yo Jungle kind of fight about kind of going third. Because kind of is going third in both spots. Because... they both double team the argument of wanting the better players to play more hands.
Yeah.
And then it is really tough when you get in that situation. It's like hard to 1v2 that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot because you essentially presume that Kaina's coins aren't worth much. So her going first, if you're Yo, actually isn't a bad thing. As long as you can convince Jungle to anchor, right? If you can convince Jungle to go third, then Kaina going first is actually kind of good. Like, Yo basically always wants to go first or second. And if you can convince Jungle to go third, I think it's worth going second. Because Kaina accumulating coins, when you're pretty confident she's just at some point going to get eliminated from this competition, or just very likely be one of the strategically weaker players if it comes to the finals, all of this benefits you when you've already built a head start with coins.
Well, what if you can just... I mean, the way like Yo kind of strong-armed it and went first works out better. He'd rather go first than second.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more dependent on Jungle. I think you would rather... If you're Yo, I think you would rather go second and have Jungle go third than you go first and have Jungle go second. For a couple reasons. One, you don't want a situation to come up where Kaina is the anchor and all team hopes rely on her.
That's what she was saying.
Correct. So she's right in that regard. And then number 2, if you go first and Jungle goes second and you fail in your match, Jungle now has the ability to accumulate a bunch of fucking
Jungle
coins.
Can sweep.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's very much good enough to sweep.
Jungle can sweep, but if he doesn't sweep, you guys, it's tougher. Like, kind of then has to, like, not sweep, but then call a 1v2 at the end, which is bad team-wise. But you can make the argument that it's probably a pretty bad spot if Yo and Jungle both lose anyways. Just depending about how.
Yeah. They're just very likely to get eliminated at that point, so it just doesn't matter anymore.
It's a double elim, so you can set different people to go different times.
Oh,
like,
so
they don't have to always go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Because if they lose, they play the elimination
What did they
round.
set for the elimination round, or have they not?
They
yet?
haven't
they
gotten.
haven't.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't yet because
They just decided Kana would go third in both.
right. They've just made that They've made that decision now, but I'm sure that can
Right.
be subject to change.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's like all the more reason to kind of try to position Jungle into third.
In both.
Well, at least in the first one. Because in the first one, you still have the opportunity where you can just sweep, and Jungle just never gets the opportunity to play.
Right.
Which means he never gets the opportunity to accumulate coins. And all of that's great. Right? Even if Kinda swept on your behalf, now you and Jungle both get team coins, but you already have 2.5x more coins than Jungle. So you still have way more coins than a really strong competitor. And you take away his ability to accumulate as well. Like, I think there's a fine balance here to strike between wanting to accumulate coins yourself versus wanting to prevent other good players from accumulating coins. Because the diminishing returns of having a greater stack in the final sit and go are just, it's very much similar to ICM. Yo going into the final with 400 big blinds versus 100 isn't going to matter a ton. But Jungle going in with, 45 big blinds instead of 200 is pretty big deal.
Winning this is actually really huge. You get into the fourth round. You skip the third
Oh, that's right
round.
too. Yeah, you do skip the third.
Just in the
round.
heads up, not the game itself. You misunderstood.
Oh,
The way it works is
You just this is
it's 4 rounds of heads up, not 4 rounds of the overall game.
Oh,
right. It's 4 rounds.
So there's
of-
a winner's bracket,
right.
a loser's bracket,
gotcha.
and then there's a double elimination. So like in the loser's bracket, it's round robin.
Gotcha.
Right. So there's the opening round of the first 2 losers, and then the winner of that will play the loser of the winner's bracket.
Okay.
Right.
And how many coins do you get per match?
I don't
what they said?
recall.
You get
Was it
30.
30?
You get 30
Was it
coins
30?
if you
Yeah.
win.
Mm.
If you win your match, you get 30.
Okay.
Each
So-
match.
Yeah. So if
So
Yo
Yo's
sweeps
already up to 160 then.
and piled with
Yeah.
the flush draw against Olga's 8,
Mhm.
which she might fold.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we are. But yeah, so he
Wait,
might.
no, it looks like you get 100.
No, I think that's if you win your round.
It said times 100 times 100 times 100.
I think that's
Yeah.
for the winner.
So that'd be for the 3 players.
For the 3 players, each get 100.
Oh.
If
I
they
think
win
that's
that
what you get if you win, if you double win. Like if Yo's team wins and then they beat the winners of the other match.
No, it was showing that in the first round.
No, I think it's per match. So like,
Yeah, it was showing 100 coins
team-
per match.
the team
If you
will
win
get,
your match, you get 100 coins for your team.
Yes.
Got it.
Each person gets 100
Yeah, that
coins.
makes more. I guess you leverage that in
You-
order
so-
to anchor.
So for each individual match of the heads up, I'm assuming you get 30 coins.
Yes.
And then if your team wins your match, each get 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it showed. Go back to the graphic, Wap.
Cue the clip.
It showed a graphic. It showed 100 coins per win, or per heads up sit and go. I mean,
Efro said I might be right about the other thing too. That the 2-0 team advances to the 4th round. Oh no.
no, you're
Start with
definitely
100
not.
big blind.
No, he's saying the same thing as you. No.
Yeah,
Game winners receive 30 coins.
30
Okay.
coins, yep.
and then so you blow through the teams, right? By the way, Najad is such a troll. Like when Nikita was picking,
Oh, what are you thinking about right now?
Yeah.
yeah. I
he's
caught
like,
onto that.
he was
too.
like, "Well, you got to watch them play."
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So this is the winner bracket. Oh, okay. So it goes up to 100 in the winner's bracket, I think. And yeah, it skips ahead to round 4, just of the heads up. So you go to the championship round.
Gotcha. Okay.
You have to beat 2 teams.
You beat 2 teams, you each get 100 coins.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where you get the 100 coins. So it's 30 coins per victory
No,
for only the
they're-
person who plays.
Right, and then the team that wins each gets 100 coins.
Yes.
Each. Right.
Team that wins gets 100
Oh,
coins.
no,
Right.
no. Conrad's right,
I'm
dude.
right.
Conrad's right. If you win both of these heads up matches, you go straight to round 4.
Yes, in the heads up
In the
matches.
heads up match.
No. Straight to round 4 in the game.
No.
Because the 2 losing teams play to get eliminated, and then the team that won the heads up that didn't get eliminated, and the team that lost to the championships face each other in round 3. That's what it is.
Correct.
But you go straight to round 4.
And then the winner of that.
No, it's in the game. I promise. Conrad's right.
I'm not sure about that.
If you win,
How could he be right, Landon?
he's right.
How could
If you
Conrad
win, okay,
know?
I know. If you win both matches in the heads up, you advance straight to round 4 of the competition, not of the heads up.
So they just go right to the finals.
Yes.
And that's so now we only have six people
Yes.
left in round 3.
Yes.
Oh, that would
Yes.
make sense. And then 6 people left in round 3, 3 get
One team
eliminated,
gets eliminated.
and then
Yes.
there's 6 in the finals.
Or they redistribute the people on the both teams.
So that makes sense then from a coin accumulation standpoint too, because I was thinking that they're giving away a lot of coins.
I was gonna say,
Conrad W.
That's what I
heads
was gonna
up.
say. I was like, man, they're gonna have so many coins. Like, everyone's gonna have like 400 big blinds by the time they get to the final round. But yeah, that does make sense.
Okay, so then
Good job, Conrad.
So then the max what's the max coins that you can accumulate from this heads up match?
Well, Yo has the most coins now.
Not just a single individual. I'm saying like what's if Yo swept the whole way through?
Yeah.
What's the max coins he could pull?
He would win 280 coins if he won all 6 matches, because his team would win. He'd get 100 coins, and then he'd win 180 from each match. So he'd have a
180
total
from-
of 380.
Yeah, 6 matches times
Okay.
30 coins. Yeah.
So then that's the max. That's the max starting stack would be 380.
Probably.
Well, we assume
I'm
so,
assuming
right?
round 3 is not going to give you that many coins to like. There's an incentive not to play round 3.
Right, because you can't get eliminated, but there is potential that like say like DW, who has I think 80 coins right now. There's potential that he could maybe accumulate more if he went the whole way through.
If he swept, like
went through the whole way through the heads up bracket and then like won the max coins in round 3.
Like if he, right. Yeah, you'd have to win 5 matches, which would give him 150 coins. But because they don't get the 100 coin bonus that you get for
Correct.
being 2-0.
Correct. Yeah. Right.
So I'm assuming that Yo would have top stack if he swept everyone.
Maybe. I mean, he would go in with 380. David would go into round 3 then with 230. Seems pretty reasonable. He could make 150 coins there. So maybe the greatest starting stat. I don't know. We'll see. I guess
we'll see. But yeah, if you go 2-0, you go straight to round 4, and then the 2 teams that have a loss in the heads up play round 3.
Yeah, man. It'd be
it's
very
double
interesting.
elimination.
Right. But it'd be very interesting if they presented that before the draft, because it would change strategy so fucking much.
Sorry, it's not double elimination. It's just if you lose the first, you must fight for the second, and if you win your first, you're clean.
Yeah.
Fuck, the chat's on fire right now. They're telling me I missed the opportunity for a bucket, all this shit. God damn it.
We still have yet to get the bucket board.
We do need to get the bucket board for sure.
We do have the timer.
Yeah, the timer hasn't really been that helpful though.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the rest of the drafts as far as like, Yo taking jungle was like not that shocking. He's the best player available.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, man. It is kind of rough when you want. Like you don't want to keep good people in.
I don't want the sharpest there.
You don't want sharp.
You got to go, man. So I would try to figure out what the line is.
It's tough too because the way it worked is Charlie's team, Yo's team, Fedor's team, whatever you want to call it. They were very strong.
Yeah, team.
Like they were definitely the second super team.
Charlie,
in the first
Nikita,
round.
Fedor, Yo.
Right. So now it breaks down when it goes into being captains. You have 3 really strong players that are available. Right. It's interesting because like I just would have passed on jungle.
Who would you have went with?
I would have never picked jungle or Fedor.
Yeah,
Never.
who would
Well, you can't pick Fedor.
Oh, sorry.
Yo tried.
Yeah, I forgot.
So who would you have picked, Burke?
But to that point, if Fedor was available, I definitely wouldn't have picked
Yeah,
him.
right.
Yeah, of course.
You definitely would have or wouldn't.
Would not.
And it trickles down. I also wouldn't want to pick. I would try to figure out where the line is. I also wouldn't want to pick Josh or David. Like,
I would want Josh. I would definitely want Josh. I would want Robin. I would want.
Like if I had to,
Okay, so
I had to
here's-
figure out the line.
Let me do
but
it this way. I'll tell you who's available, and you tell me where you rank them.
There are 8 people that
From
you could
1
pick
to
from.
8. Yeah, Maria, Josh, Jungle, Kaina, DW, Andy, Olga, Lucas, Robin.
Maybe Andy.
Are we talking game strategy or are we talking?
We're talking
poker
game strategy.
Game strategy?
Yes.
Andy?
One would be no.
I think
Andy's gonna come in at like 5.
DW's got to be.
I gotta say.
Wait, are we ranking them as far as like who we think our toughest competitor is?
No,
No,
we're
rank them by
saying
who you would take.
who you
who
would
I would
take,
take?
as your first, like call it pack 1, pick 1, right? Who's your first pick?
Not knowing that
Not-
not knowing that you're going to be playing heads up and all the rules. Yeah.
Right, just game show. Like
Yeah.
you get to pick first.
I think
Knowing
I'm,
what they knew.
I think
Man,
I'm
I
going
might-
Maria. I need some help to like get along to the next round. but it's also just not jungle or I'm picking Maria.
We should have got Lorianne on the show.
Yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would strongly consider taking Lucas. I would strongly consider taking.
Forgot about Lucas. Yeah.
I mean, I would have taken Olga, and I would have gotten fucked bad. Because I would have
heads up. Yeah.
I would have ended up with Olga and Kaina, and personally, like, I'm not super strong at heads up either. So like, it would have been.
Well, there's a balance, right? Because
you just got to find that line of where you can.
No,
what makes your team the strongest?
I would almost certainly have taken Lucas because I just know that he has sit and go prowess, and that can just translate to a lot of things that are available for what we're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think my pick would have been probably Lucas. I very likely would stay away from Andy because we have similar skill sets, and I don't think they apply to this game show.
Andy would be a good pick for like.
Andy would be a good third pick if I'm like choosing second or third, right? If I was in Nikita's spot, like, well, no, even then it doesn't benefit me because you get the wraparound pick, which is good. But like if I'm in Fedor's spot, I would have been totally fine landing with like Lucas and Andy, or like his team's good. He drafted perfectly, I think.
With Josh and Maria?
No, he got Maria and DW.
Oh yeah, DW.
Oh wait, did he get Josh?
Josh.
Yeah, he
Josh.
did get Josh. You're right. Yeah, Josh fell.
Wait, it's not.
it's Josh, Maria, Fedor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for Fedor, he just needs to get to the next round. So in his like.
Oh right, Fedor picked second, not third. I was thinking Charlie picked second.
Charlie has DW and
Andy.
Yeah.
Charlie picked Andy first.
Yeah.
And then
Well, and I think Charlie's pretty smart for that because I'm not sure how in tune Andy is for like the game right now.
He's not. That's why I said I think he's like one of the top three.
He definitely is a really good pick.
I think Charlie would have benefited a lot from picking Lucas, but I get the Andy pick.
Charlie's
in a tough spot though because his biggest strength is his ability to like manipulate the psychology of all this. And also be a good poker player on top of it, right?
Charlie was primarily a cash game guy or a tournament guy?
cash guy.
Yeah, but he played a lot of high rollers.
Yeah, he started with online cash.
He kind of made himself known through the high roller scene.
Started winning tournaments.
His
first tournament win was like one of the things that people got to know Charlie from Scoop. He won a Scoop for like a Scoop main for a few hundred K.
So ultimately it's Charlie, David, and Andy?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I think that's a problem for him. Him and David are going to clash hard.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like Charlie's definitely going to be playing the game, so to speak.
And so is David.
Right, and so is David. And the issue is that Charlie isn't looked at the same way Fedor or Jungle are as far as like their poker prowess goes.
Yeah.
He's too much of a versatile player who doesn't really have a specialty. It's very and honestly so is Jungle for sure. Jungle plays literally everything. But he's been dominant for such a long period of time, and nobody would really question his prowess in anything. Like he's just kind of viewed in that upper echelon. Where like Charlie is obviously that talented, but you know he has his naysayers, and the whole point is that he's in a position similar to like how I would be if I was on the show, where our chops could be called into question enough. Where if you have somebody who's also playing the game show game aspect of it really hard, you're going to be just at your wit's end.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen with David and Charlie. You know, we kind of got a preview of it in maybe the end of this show, or maybe it's the end of the last one. I can't remember. But like they're certain to fight really, really, really hard for who goes first.
Yeah.
And now that we know, so I didn't realize that winning this whole thing advanced you through. Now I really like Yo's spot a lot. But I think even more so now, convincing Jungle to go third and having Kaina go first is worth so much because you just push her through to the finals. That's huge, right? Like
because you want a perceived worst player going to the end.
Look, ideally, if who do we think is the best heads-up player here? Jungle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jungle or Fedor.
Okay, so let's say
Jungle, Fedor, Charlie, top three.
Okay, so let's say Jungle could have been let's say Jungle could have had the number one overall pick. And he has so much confidence, and he knows it's heads up, right? Like, let's just give an ideal world where he gets to play the full strategy. He gets first pick. and he knows it's a heads up sit and go, where if his team advances through a clean sweep, they just auto go to the final. He should draft who he believes to be the 2 weakest players.
And then he can just play it and just go straight through.
Just try to sweep through. And if not, like rely on the fact that you can possibly win your way through the losers bracket in order to advance to round 3.
Wait,
So he's piggybacking the worst players into the final.
Yeah, that's the dream, I think.
Yeah.
Who are you
Because
saying?
you're no longer a team once you make the final.
Who are you saying that for?
Jungle or Fedor.
Fedor, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I meant Jungle, but
Well, I'm just saying because Fedor is a captain. That's why.
yeah, I understand. I just
Gotcha.
I wonder how many of my words you actually listen to.
Like
Like 1 in 10,
30%.
3 and 10.
30%.
It's range.
A bit high. So yeah, like in Fedor's situation,
We forget it's a winner take all tournament. Like it's winner take all.
Right. So like for Fedor's spot, I said like he drafted perfectly, but maybe not. Maybe Maria isn't the pick because she's pretty sharp. It's interesting because like she's pretty sharp in playing the game, but we know that she's probably going to let Fedor captain this thing. And those two things are kind of at odds end.
I would say Fedor's probably pretty happy with his team.
Yeah. But
you're saying because Fedor
he takes
one of the best, he should be picking the 2 worst players. If he knows the structure, he should be picking the 2 worst players in the field.
which they don't know the structure for.
Obviously, yeah.
And also, so here's the other aspect of it, I guess, that makes a lot of sense. If your team advances through, you're no longer playing the quote unquote game anymore. So it doesn't really matter if he takes along a REA. All that really matters is they defer to him and let him accumulate the most coins in this round. Right. So having Maria and REA is maybe best because they're going to duke it out for who goes second and third. But Fedor is almost certain to have first crack at winning the most amount of coins.
But then you also get Maria and Aria to the finals. Do you exactly want that?
In a sit and go? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like Josh is going to be good at the meta stuff, but like for sure he's one of the 3 that I would want. If I had to pick my bottom 5 of people to put into a sit and go, Josh is going to be in there.
It's more so like by exclusion, not with you including, right? Like you don't want to pick the best to include them with you. You want to exclude,
exactly.
And you have to deal with something.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's just like what are you going to choose to live with?
Right.
And like Fedor would rather play against them than have Jungle on his team.
There's just there's just like a lot of strategy. Yeah, that would have been interesting if Yo would have picked someone else. Like let's say Yo took Maria instead. Fedor had second pick, right? Yeah. Let's say Yo took Maria instead. Would Fedor pass on Jungle?
I think the sharp strat would be pass on Jungle, but it's hard in real time to pass on.
Yeah,
Jungle.
because you just think it's a team thing and you just want to get to the next round.
No. He's German, man. He knows this ain't a team thing. Ain't nothing a team thing.
It's winner take all. He knows he's trying to win.
He knows exactly. Like, dude has it down to the cent what his EV of every decision
Kind of
is.
theoretically, potentially, like the way that this goes is like Jungle is actually last pick.
God damn it! I wish he really passed on.
Imagine Jungle was last because they know he's too good to be on the team.
Right.
So it's like you get stuck with Jungle.
But you get a better chance to get through.
No, he wouldn't be last because
somebody like
Nikita would want to try to advance herself.
Well, now there's the strat of do you want to take Jungle to fade that?
It's all about like what you think your personal skill is. Also, I think
Right.
like you have to weigh what your skill is against the field and then draw a line.
You're pretty confident that it's going to end in a sit and go format. So no, you wouldn't want to fade that. You want to position Nikita and Jungle together because we've seen her make sit and go errors in the first round, right? You want to try to get Nikita through. You want to try to get Kaina through.
Do we want to do a mock draft? Let's pretend it's like our theory crafted mock draft. So here's who we have.
We know too much though. We already know the format. That's
okay,
the
but that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so now how would you do it? So if you have first pick and you're Yo, who do you take?
I told you I would take Robin.
You would take Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you're Fedor, who do you take?
I would take. I think I would take maybe Maria again, or possibly. If I didn't know it was heads up, I would strongly consider Olga.
Yeah, I was gonna say knowing the format. You
just know assume you know the format.
If I knew the format, then yeah, I'd probably lean Maria.
Okay, so now Charlie.
I mean, definitely not Jungle.
Andy.
Probably Andy. Yeah.
Okay. And then Nikita takes jungle.
100% takes jungle.
So now you're Nikita again, and this is your last pick.
Right. So now you have jungle. I think that I would consider Kaina because Nikita feels very strong at heads up. Jungle is obviously very strong. I would strongly consider taking Kaina.
I think you missed the mark here. I think Fedor should be taking Kaina.
Why?
And trying to get propelled because he's one of the best.
Because Fedor can hard carry.
If Fedor can hard carry from the start and just get through,
but it's still really high variance.
Yeah, of course it is. But
he's German, man.
I mean, you don't want to end up in a situation where you have. Well, who else would fall to him? That's the thing.
Well, he'd probably have Kaina and
Josh.
Well, yeah, maybe, or
it'd be a bold strategy, Cotton.
Olga, maybe.
It would be him.
Olga would never fall that far unless they knew it was heads up.
We're assuming only we know.
Like Olga almost went 3rd overall.
Yeah,
and probably should have.
Might be
honestly.
Arya or DW.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. It's pretty high variance.
Arya. When I say Arya.
Yeah.
Not the casino. The poker player.
Yeah, I just think if I thought I was one of the best in the field left, I would just try to get the weaker players on my team.
I agree.
And just try to hard carry to get them through.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's assume that the draft is over and your team Yo. So you have Andy. Right? Andy's your first pick?
No.
Sorry, Lucas. You have Lucas,
yeah.
and then who's your last pick would be, I guess, who would be last?
Very likely it would be Josh.
Okay, so let's just assume it's you, Lucas, and Josh. Which team do you play against? Nikita's team, Charlie's team?
Not Nikita's team.
Which is Nikita, Jungle, and Olga.
Yeah. No. I said she should take Kaina.
Okay, so Nikita, Jungle, Kaina.
Yeah.
Or...
it would probably be. I would just probably play whatever team chose Olga.
So it'd be Fedor.
Like once we know it's heads up, I would probably just take Olga or take the. No, Olga's team would probably land on Charlie's. It would probably be Charlie, Andy, Olga.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd play that team.
Yeah.
That's probably because then Fedor would have to play jungle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
Yeah. Seems
decent.
Yeah. It'd be fun. Yeah, it's interesting.
It is kind of fun to theory craft.
I just like the game within the game.
Yeah, it's good.
It's very fascinating to me. I will say that like overall, I thought the show was so much better with heads up versus the four-handed sit and go. I thought that the editors did a great job of like speed running.
They did a bunch of hands, just like boom, 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 boom.
The match against Lucas between Yo and Lucas was so good because they showed a little bit of the lead up, and then they like sped through the comeback.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
it
of
was
the
just
all-ins and just,
it was just like we didn't see all the streets. Like we just saw the climax of each hand.
Right.
And that's more than enough. Like truly, they don't need to highlight pre-flop to river in the majority of these hands. Right. You can literally just like spot show river situations.
Right.
Because the fact is, we don't really have any context clues anyway. You know, we don't see what's been happening. We don't see if Yo's just been bluffing a ton, and that's why Nikita has to call down in so many situations. Like, you know, we can talk a lot more about Strat Chat on Wednesday, but I really, really, really like just using the poker as kind of imagery to move the game along.
Especially when you're going to see so much poker
Exactly.
anyways, right? You're going to get enough of it. You don't need to see every single hand.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think, you know, I expect the next two are going to drag a little bit because it's just going to be heads up.
Well, they have to get through a lot of heads up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to probably be the same kind of edits, cut features. It's going to be good.
Well, it seems like there's a little more drama in the coming one, so.
Well, it's just about like flush draw and then like versus 8x, and then they have to get through
There's
the
the potential
other match and then the elimination, maybe? Or you think it's going to go 3 episodes?
There's the potential that it actually could go many, many more, right? Because we haven't even gotten through the first round A yet. It's only round A, right? There's still the other first round B.
It's possible Yo doesn't sweep.
Right. So there's completing first round A, then there's all of first round B, which will be over an episode.
Yeah,
and then there is all of winner's bracket, which will be over an episode, and then all of loser's bracket, which will be over an episode, and then
we'll get to round.
That's it.
Yeah,
We'll
the
get to round
losers
three on
losers
Wednesday.
bracket will be very interesting because they'll be playing for their life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it'll be very hard to condense those down to 2 episodes. We're probably looking at 4.
Yeah.
I agree because they'll leave a cliffhanger for the weekend, and then on Monday it would be the losers play it out, right?
Well, the first round of the losers bracket. Then there's the second round of the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Right? No, sorry. It'll go it'll complete round A and probably B of the winner or of the opening round on Wednesday. And then Friday will very likely be the 2 winners playing, followed by Monday being the round 1 of the losers bracket, round 2 of the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Man, this could have been sick, dude.
Maybe the winners won't play until Wednesday.
Yeah,
next
what's
week.
more interesting, watching the
elimination
or
the
advancing to the
right.
to the finals?
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough to know.
Imagine if D-Negs' team didn't lose. And then you have to deal with Kuhn, D-Negs, Kmart, Soiza.
All of them would have been part of the draft.
Right.
It would have been very
Get
interesting.
them out.
It would have been interesting. Get them out, though.
Get them out.
I guess that's what makes game shows so cool is it's interesting anyways. It's just interesting how.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this season, interesting how.
Yeah.
Really good players got like no one expected that team to dust round 1.
I can't wait for season 2.
I wish there was fucking betting odds for this. This could be fun.
It's tough because it's already completed.
No,
That's true.
I mean, you
Gotta
could
sign
do
NDAs.
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
could do like Survivor drafts prior once you know what the cast is, but that's about it.
What do you think about the team eliminations versus individual ones? Like in other game show, like reality type, like some people lose, they get voted off.
Like I said, I think that what I would do differently if I were in charge of running, like say season 2, is I would flip the script on the way that they're comprising the shows. So rather than it being like 80% poker, 20% game strat, I would make it 80% game strat, 20% poker, right?
Wow.
By making it single eliminations. And then by just completely eliminating the vast majority of the gameplay from what we get to see.
The challenge is you're going to have more things like alliances. Maybe you're voting for people, so you need to align with these people so they don't vote you to go in to play a heads-up match for your life.
Survivor, but 2 people get eliminated to play each other heads up to see.
That's the thing, right? The easiest way to eliminate the majority of the poker is most people don't have to play poker,
right?
Right. So you have the game within the game, and then you have like an elimination heads-up match, or you have an immunity challenge where it's a 9-handed sit and go or whatever the case may be, and the winner just gets immunity, and then there's a vote.
Yeah, like the game show, the reality show, The Challenge is like that, where it's just like there's a lot. They have a challenge and then they have an elimination round, but like everything in between, there's all these alliances and figuring out who's going to vote for who, and then by the end, 2 people go in.
Some out-of-line activity,
right? 2 people go in, and one gets eliminated every episode. So something like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I personally think that that's the structure that this turns into a home run with.
That might be like the mainstream structure. People don't really, not in a bad way. People just don't really care about poker that much.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
but it'll get people to care about poker.
I watch Ink Master
right?
every single season. I don't have a tattoo. I don't want a tattoo. I'm not even into the culture of tattoos.
Right.
But like getting to watch 16 artists perform their craft is interesting to me. And only a third of the show is actually tattooing.
It's like the cooking show. Like fucking Chopped is sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Top Chef.
Hell's Kitchen is sick.
Yeah,
like,
all that stuff.
They're all good.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I ain't no chef. Like, I know.
You cook those eggs though.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Bussin'.
Cook those eggs.
Wow, imagine Gen Z Hell's Kitchen. Man, that shit busting for real. No cap. That shit was mid, you're out.
Can't do it.
Can't take it.
Can't do it. What?
He's thinking. He's stimming.
It almost came out.
You just shouldn't be allowed to look at the chat.
I'm not in the chat. I'll tell you later. I can't say it.
All right, let's get into a little bit more of the real poker rather than the game show poker. There was a tweet that went out, or I guess it was a video from poker.org, where they're describing a situation that happened at Hustler Casino. It said, is this a dirty move or is it fair game? Without playing the video, just to keep it brief, basically there was a drunk guy at the table at 5-5 or 2-5. He was opening 100 blind every single hand. And then one hand he opens to $100 and leaves to take a piss. Folds around to the big blind, and the debate is, what should the big blind's responsibility to the overall game be in this particular situation? Joey Saul highlighted one of the replies where the person said, I don't understand this. You raise and take the 100 every time. Yeah, you may anger the drunk fish, but you pick up 20 big blinds. He might splash around and donate more to the table, but you have to contest others for that. So 1/7 of his loss on average. Take the 100 and hope he stays. What are your guys' thoughts on this this scenario should it be presented to you?
So I think I would just I haven't even seen this tweet, so this is like right off the top of my head, but I'd probably just wait. I'd wait for him to come back. Like,
I'd 100% wait.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do. But the problem is the other people at the table, some people might complain, some people might whatever. But
I mean, I'd wait a reasonable amount of time, right? Like if he's gone for like a half an hour.
like this is at a casino,
ridiculous.
so they should be mucking his hand, honestly.
Yeah, but if they allow him to like take 5 minutes and go to the bathroom and then come back, all right, cool. This guy's a fun player.
Yeah,
He's doing crazy stuff at the table. We like to see more of that. So like, why do we want to just, give him a reason to leave?
Get off your fucking phones, both of you. Jesus Christ,
Dad's mad.
Yeah, I think that people don't understand where their win rate comes from, and it's blatantly obvious in the replies to this video. The comments are just littered with "it's free money, take it," yada yada yada. And it's like,
come on.
Of course that's true, but this guy's losing, hundreds of big blinds per hour, thousands maybe thousands of big blinds.
It's the shearing the sheep. Is it idiom?
Shear sheep instead of skinning them.
You can shear it many times, but skin it only once.
Right.
From rounders.
I personally.
That's where it originates from.
Yes, sure. I personally, for the sake of saving time, I would just like raise and give him his 100 back. So like we would just move on and we continue to play poker. And then when he came back, I would just give him his 100.
Would they let you do that though?
I mean, who's gonna stop you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know at the Jewel, you're not allowed to chop. So like, I didn't know this, but like, I took it down and I just gave the guy back his like $1, and they wouldn't let me do it.
The deal was like, you can't do it.
You have to give him $1 off the table.
You could just like give it to him. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, you cannot do that.
It's insane to me that casinos try to police this stuff.
I know.
What are we doing?
Right.
What rule is this breaking?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like
chip dumping.
It looks like collusion optics.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, I guess.
That's about it.
There's one player currently at the table who has an active hand.
So again, that goes to my original question. Do you think they would let that fly?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, probably.
Especially in California. I can't imagine that they give a shit about this stuff.
Right.
I mean, if not, like you just have to give them money off the table. Like if you raise and take his 100 and then you give him $100, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like
exactly.
Regardless, like the whole point is that you absolutely, as a reg or even recreational, need to cater to these players.
Mm-hmm.
And it's blatantly obvious to the arrogance that I see in the replies that people just do not either they don't know where their money comes from, or they believe they're winning way more off the regulars than they actually are.
Right.
And it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of debate about like how unfair it is to the dealer. And basically in my experience, what I would say is that number one, generally these drunk guys way overcompensate the dealers anyway.
Oh yeah, right.
So keeping him in the game and happy.
They're doing $100 pot and they just throw him like 5 Redbirds. And then
if you were thinking about this, like if you were thinking about it's unfair to the dealer in the moment, just when you either win the pot or give back his money, like say you raise whatever because somebody was complaining or something like that, and you give back the man his money, you just tell him you have to tip dealer.
Well, there's a million ways that you can do it to ensure the dealer's compensated. If you just snap re-raise and then give him his 100 back, it doesn't affect the dealer at all. But you could also just like be in a hand with him, and if he's trying to make a tough decision, say like, I'll show you a card for $25, but you have to give the quarter to the dealer, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a million ways to ensure. Here's the thing: if the guy's at the table, I can promise you the dealers are doing well.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Right.
The dealers might be the only person doing better than the best reg in the game.
Dealer hour at least basic.
Yeah, so
they're
it's
doing
just
good. He's pumping up all the pots. They're big pots. They're getting tipped. Yeah, for sure.
I think that this is like an absolute no-brainer, and it's you know what? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all.
He took a full heel turn. He said,
I mean, it just doesn't surprise me at all. And I think that kind of coincides with like the last topic that I want to touch on, which was a response I made to Lewis Spencer kind of saying how ridiculous the private scene has become in live cash games in Vegas. And not that Lewis would not know what to do in a situation with a drunk whale at the game, just like punting off 20 big blinds a hand, but more so it speaks to this I guess like thought process of being, I hate to use the word entitled because it feels like a loaded term, but like the very me-centric point of view when it comes to like looking at the live landscape. So all of the players that are saying like, I would just take the $100 and be happy with it because it's free money kind of stuff.
I don't play private games. I don't care about private games.
All of the guys who are in the comments basically saying like, we don't care if this drunk guy stays or goes, that type of stuff. It's all very selfishly motivated, and it's largely built upon a terrible misunderstanding of how you're making money or like a lack of self-awareness.
Well, it's like the perceived EV versus EV now, where you might be winning a longer hour or more of an hourly if the guy stays, whereas someone says, oh, if I'm winning this $100 right now, this makes up for my hourly, and if he leaves or goes, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
The not caring part is like where the lack of self-awareness comes from, because everybody, no matter how good they are, should care, because this guy's contributing way more to your bottom line than any normal game environment ever could.
Yeah, there's definitely a situation that happens where it's like, okay, he comes back to the table, the money's gone, he's just pissed and leaves.
Yeah.
That's probably going to happen more often than not.
Well, that is what happened.
Yeah.
He came back and he like basically told the big blind to go fuck himself and left. Or at least, or maybe, now I'm not sure if I'm remembering what the end of the video said or if I'm thinking about like what one of the comments in the thread said. But anyway, like obviously that easily could be a potential outcome here, is that, the guy comes back, he sees what's happened, his hand is gone, he's upset, tells everyone to go fist fuck themselves, and, just takes
Back up and leaves.
Yeah, and he could even just go to another table,
Yeah.
Now you're the one that doesn't profit off of that experience.
Right. And like this stuff matters so much. Like people just don't understand how many hours you log in order to get the gifted free money for some fraction of time. Like if you play 1,000 hours a year live professionally, you hope that 5% of those hours will be in a game where somebody is just absolutely wailing out. And those 5% of hours,
Andy Beal adjacent.
Right. Those 5% of hours are going to often account for like a big portion of your bottom line, a big chunk of your yearly bottom line.
Even if you lose in those games, like your hourly is just going to be highest then.
Correct. Yeah. And it's like, not even going to be remotely close. So I think that it's, and I don't want to harp on Lewis. I love Lewis, actually. Like, I really enjoy his banter. I like having him in the game, but like, he's tight and he plays well and
wears a scarf.
He wears a scarf. He doesn't actually wear a scarf in Bobby's, but like, he plays good. He plays really good, and he plays obviously good, right? Like there's no part of him. Like, yes, he's Sven. There's no part of him where anybody thinks that they're ever getting the best of Lewis. It's like he sits with 100 big blinds. He's very meticulous about how he puts his money in the pot. He's very thoughtful about everything. No one, Regs included, no one thinks that they're getting one over on Lewis. And that's a big, big, big problem to his bottom line, right? Like he's just not going to win a lot because he's not going to be afforded the same spots as people who feel like, or at least present that they're giving something up to the environment. And that was a big reason why I felt like there was a need to respond, because there's this common take that Vegas has just recently gone private when it comes to high stakes cash. And that for the better part of 20 years, if you had money and a desire, you could just show up to the Bellagio and play the biggest games in the world. And that's just fundamentally false.
Scam.
I've been grinding cash here since 2007. At no point in time was there much availability to play 50, 100 or larger in the public sector. Yeah. The games happened, they would pop up. But again, it would be like 20% of your hours at most where you happen to be either in the casino or you greased enough host palms to contact you immediately whenever a game would pop up. But it very, very rarely happened in the public sector. I played 10-20-40 from 2009 to 2012 pretty regularly at Bellagio. I played one session of public 25-50. One. And it was only because Robo and those guys like didn't have enough people or didn't care enough to make the game private.
Right. So one day out of the 3 years, it was free for all.
Correct. And then I played one time 50-100 at Venetian, where some whale had like opened a game, and some of us caught wind of it and we rushed over.
Said fuck it, we ball.
So it's like these games existed. They popped up sometimes during the World Series. I want to say like during the series, there would be a little bit more consistency with like 50-100. But honestly, even that was mostly at the Rio. And a lot of it was just like PLO. You know, when I was battling with Greggy and Benba and Sylvia and, all of those guys, Osmus, all those guys who came up through the Bellagio ranks, we were battling at 10-20-40, not because we couldn't play bigger. It's because it was the biggest fucking game in the city. You just didn't have the availability because Bobby's room has always been private. People don't realize this. Bellagio had a written list until like 2016. They did not adopt Bravo. They were the last casino in Vegas to adopt Bravo.
Yeah.
Because they kept it semi-private. It was always semi-private. Even 10-20-40. You would grease palms with the floor to get moved up the list or to get, moved up as a call-in. If you were a Noir player, you jumped the list. So they had these like predisposed ways for whales to get into games ahead of others. They had a 10th chair rule where if the table agreed upon it, anybody on the list could fill the 10th chair. Didn't matter what order you were in, right? Amazing. So like we would often make it 10-handed for special players.
A special game.
And like this is all mandatory. It's necessary in order for the environment to thrive, right? So this notion that somehow private games are new is just a complete and utter lack or misunderstanding of the history of cash games in Las Vegas. 2008, when I moved out here, Gabe Thaler was running a 25-50 plus game around Jamie Gold twice a week at the Venetian back in the salon. Totally private. Absolutely no way a reg could get in. Zero shot.
What's the salon?
It was the former back room at Venetian that's dead.
Okay.
They tore it down.
GG salon.
There was a period of time where Blazarian was slumming it, before he apparently won all this money in poker. He was a regular in the 10-20 game for a very short period of time, like 3 months. Then he made a bet that he wouldn't play 10-20 for a year. And what ended up happening was Robo, Antonio, Jeff Gross, Brian Rast, they were the Victory Poker crew back then. It was an upstart online site or whatever. This is post Black Friday, I think. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like 2011, 2010. I don't remember. Anyway, they would just follow Blitz around and they would open bigger games. And you could not get into those games. You just couldn't. They just cherry picked who they wanted to play because that's just what you did. Now, if you want to say the logistics have changed, where I can actually walk into Bellagio and say, hey, I want to start a private 501k game. I'm willing to pay the hourly rate. And, I want to keep it private. So whoever wants to play has to come through me.
Whoever I say goes.
That part has changed. Mm-hmm. Logistically, it used to be trickier. You had to show up with a full list.
Right. You'd all just get on the list at once, start the game, and then...
Correct.
Right.
And then
nobody leave.
And then you'd fake stack seats.
Yeah.
People would leave. You just leave a stack there.
Right.
Right. And you'd say, oh, no, he's coming back. Yada, yada, yada.
Oh, right.
And then you call other people to come in, and they would just very casually jump the list, and the floor would look the other way. Right. I don't give a fuck how you quantify it.
Right, how you call them private or not private.
Whatever you want to say, the games were private.
The difference now is it's openly private versus before sneak private.
Right. Even you weren't getting in the game was the main
Even
thing.
when the JRB game existed, Keating was running a secondary game, and look, I've been shut out of way more private games than I've been let into. Right? So I would play JRB's game 3 days a week. Keating would run his game, which was significantly smaller. It was 3612 was JRB's game in Ivy's room, and then Keating was running 1-2 or 2-4. And I would always show up and be the first on the list. I would just wait. And then they would agree to break the game 8-handed before I could sit. So if a seat opened, because I knew that they were doing the fake stack shit, I would just hawk it. And I would say, like, nah, he left. I saw him leave. And they would go, oh, we're quitting. So, like, the second I would sit down, game would break, right? And that was just the politics, because private games have always fucking existed. Zach is one of the biggest whales to ever come through to ever come through Las Vegas. Ultimately, he proved to be the guy that got Garrett rich. Like, this is literally the hero's story for how Garrett Alstein became Garrett Alstein. It all originated here in Vegas. Zach was like a real estate trust fund baby who came to Vegas one day. They had the regular game going at the Wynn. It was like 10 and a quarter. It was like Gina Fiore, who we've had on the show, Jackie, Marcus Gonzalez was in that game. A few others that have like long passed that nobody would really know any longer. But anyway, there was like, you know, the regular game of 8 or 10 that happened, or 8 of 9 that happened to be there that night. I played the Win all the time. I just so happened to not be there that night. This guy walks in from the blackjack table, sits down with $250,000, loses it all, and then for the next 3 months, they just travel around the city listing this game everywhere that they go. I tried to snipe this game maybe 100 times. This guy made everybody rich. Everybody, you know, made big 6 figures, low 7 figures, depending on if they were chopping them up or not. I don't know. I don't know like what the actual politics of the private game were, but it was clear he was the only loser, you know, and they just absolutely obliterated this guy. Eventually he moved to San Diego and then up the coast to LA and started playing like 100, 200, 200, 400 with Prahlad and Garrett and JRB and a few others at Commerce. And that game ran for years. It got huge. Garrett was a massive winner of that game, right?
And private.
And it was private. Nobody's fucking getting in.
Nobody got to play.
Andy didn't get rich from that game.
Mm-mm.
You know, like, sure, sometimes they would let people in here and there, but make no mistake about it, it's the player's discretion at the end of the day. Now, I get it. When you're on the outside looking in,
you are on the outs.
It feels unfair. It feels like you are in a situation where people are fucking with your bottom line, and that the game within the game is very unfair and the deck stacked against you. And you're right, it is.
It is.
It absolutely is. But there are ways to mitigate that. There are ways to make yourself valuable. And if you're a professional poker player, specifically a professional cash player, that's fucking important. That's way more important
than being good,
than running more sims.
Yeah.
Right? And figuring out your bottom line. Like, you know, I kind of said it tongue in cheek to Lewis, but it's like either go play high roller tournaments or figure out a way that you can offer value to the environment. Because if there were 6 games throughout the city that were running with a list, with a private list, that means that there were 54 seats available for you to potentially be one of 54, and no one wanted you. Right?
Yeah, it's the entitlement factor of just being good so you get to play. And it's not fair that I'm not allowed to play. But at the end of the day, that's not how the game works anymore.
I totally get it. The idea of pouring yourself into a skill, honing that skill, becoming elite at that skill, and then everybody's saying, like, you're too good for us to play with you. There's no sport that exists like that, right? But there are a lot of markets that exist like that. If you're a sharp in the sports betting world, you get flatlined all the time.
Yeah.
If you're a good counter, you get flat bet or banned all the time, right?
There's like YouTube channels of guys being card counters, getting like asked to leave casinos all the time. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go here and like see how long I can play until I get banned.
Right.
Right. So it's like, on one hand, is it unfair to you, the individual, because everybody isn't getting to operate in this open environment? Yes. On the other hand, is it absolutely necessary and fair to the environment / recreational? Again, yes. If private games absolutely never existed, like in some fantasy world where home games were, you know, the death penalty if you got caught, therefore they just never ran, and nothing logistically could take place in a casino where you could privatize a game. If that were the case, would live poker flourish the way that it does? I would contest no.
I would say no.
Not at the higher stakes.
I think it would look like online high stakes.
Right.
where games only run around one whale who is silly enough to put his money down recreationally and compete against the best, and eventually just gets chopped up.
Yeah, it'd just be 5 sharks in them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's this old saying that if you're the 7th best player in the world and you only sit with the 6th best, you're the fish.
Right.
How do you think recreationals feel? They're not in the conversation, right? They just want a fun, jovial environment where they have a sporting chance to not get skinned. And unfortunately, the market dictates that means they get to decide who they play with. And as long as they get to decide who they play with, there will be people who will help them facilitate games. Will those people generally be shitty for live environments? Yeah. Who do you think are the game runners? It's the nits who can't beat an open game.
It's true.
Right? Generally speaking, that's going to be the case.
Well, why would
I miss
they?
my true calling, guys.
Why would they play an open game if they can just do this instead? Like, if your skill set is creating a game, getting people on the list, having the social skills to say, okay, everyone show up here at 10 a.m.
Right. And,
why would you not?
And that's important. That's just as important to the environment as a guy who's willing to come in and move money around and facilitate a lot of gamble and action to keep the recreational happy. That's just as important to the environment as recreationals existing. It's just as important to the ecosystem as people who can loan and take on that risk.
I see this as like a fish tank, right? But then someone who's like really good at poker, very sharp, like call it, not even from a social skills, doesn't matter. Let's just say bad at social, like all the negative things, right? Because being good at poker in this regard is a negative. Like having a win rate is a negative for the game environment. Like it's like happy environment. Then like a parasite comes in. It's like dun 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 dun. And you're like, oh, like let me get a seat in your game, please. And like, no, get the fuck out.
This is going to sound like a stretch, but there is a parallel here, even in like the food and beverage industry. So if you have a bar back or a bartender that's really fucking good at their job, a lot of the times what they want is to be a bartender or to become a server. But the sad reality is that if these guys are too good at their job, what ends up happening is they remain bar backs.
Their value is much higher as a bar back.
Who like shoot the shit with the bartenders and go get drunk after work or flirt with the cocktail waitresses. The guys that are super personable and also do a pretty good job, those are the guys that get moved up.
Right, because the actual skill set there is being a good bar back. A good bartender can only be a good bartender with a good bar back, right? So you kind of position yourself into a corner. Right, and like that's the thing, like that's fine. Hey, if you are elite and you recognize that you don't want to work the social meta in order to get these seats, fine, that's fine. There are other options. Online still exists. High roller tournaments still exist. You could start your own game. You know, it is fair in that regard. Now, the fact that you know, the softest money is being put up for grabs for people that, you know, maybe you have less respect for or whatever the case may be. It is what it is, man.
You know, sometimes it bees like that.
Yeah.
Part of the skill of being a professional poker player isn't just playing the cards.
Well, especially nowadays, right? Yeah. Way back when, called like Black Friday, like poker online high stakes was popping, right? You could just show up and sit down and play if you had money. You had to be good at the game.
Right.
You had to be good then. But now if you're trying to play 100, 200, where they literally shut people out of the game for being too good, you can't be too good anymore.
Yeah, you have to have that skill set of being able to get into the games.
I don't even know if it's about being too good. It's that you can't be feared.
You have to get people to like losing to you.
Yeah. You know, at one point, somewhere along the line, there was a big switch. I think early in the boom, we looked at Ivy as this stoic figure that everybody was just terrified to sit down across the table from, and we viewed that as like what we would all desire to be.
Right, like we want to be the alpha.
Right,
feared.
But it's the Daniels of the world that excel in the game long term, because being feared leads to getting no action. We saw it happen in the heads up arena. Like if you got to be good, you just died. Like Seaver was one of the sharpest, I thought, whenever he was talking about his come up through heads up. He said that whenever he was moving up through the lobbies, rather than lobby hold, he would start at the bare bottom and play the worst of the players. He didn't want to go and knock the king off. No, he wanted to win as much free money as possible from the worst players that would still play him, and then very gradually escalate his way up to the top. Well, he didn't want to tip his hand.
Yeah, because all the guys in the ranking order knew, okay, this guy won't play me,
right?
So I'm not going to play him,
right?
And then they see Scott beat him. It's like, oh, Scott beat him, but I can beat him, which means I might be able to beat Scott.
Right.
Sharp.
Right. So if you just jump up to knocking the kingpin off, and now all of a sudden the best heads-up player at that stake won't play you, you have no action.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
you've completed the game without actually playing it.
Right. And look, like, this is no fun. It's no fun for anybody. It's hard enough to get good at the game. So having to navigate all these extra elements, it might not be for you. It might not be for anybody, right? And you know, Lewis did make a couple really valid points. This system is still pretty broken.
Go on.
Well, the fact that you can't walk into Bellagio and start your own 100-100 game is a little bit problematic, right?
As in, even if you have a list?
Correct. So they protect what they have. And I think the casinos are very incentivized to do that, right? Because they're doing long-term business with certain clientele. And for that reason, you know, this is no different than the old... Remember the show Tilt that was on ESPN?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of that, where the main character was just like... kind of partnered up with the casino hosts, and games would just pop up whenever people would show up and say like, hey, you have any high stakes no limit? Mm-hmm. Be like, actually at 4 p.m. today we will have a high stakes game. And then it was on the pro to kind of set the lineup, and you know, they were shadier about it, but it makes a lot of sense. The long-term business model between both the games that currently exist and the host at the casino or the casino card room or whatever, they are largely in cahoots. And yes, that's not fair to the person on the outside looking in. But there's a lot of fucking casinos in the city. Mm-hmm. You know? It's tough. Bellagio's going to be the highest traffic. Treasure Island's going to be the lowest. You know? Go.
Is there a path for someone like Lewis in terms of getting into these games?
I mean, yeah, but he probably couldn't stomach it. Right? Because it's just literally whaling. You need to be the whale. You need to show that you're
willing to gamble.
Yeah, that you're willing to gamble and that you're not scary.
Which goes against the way that got you to where you are in the first place.
Correct.
It's like the complete opposite, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, personally, being someone that cares a lot about poker and trying to get very good at poker, like, I'm very aware that I'm not good for private games from a poker playing perspective, right? Regardless of this,
nobody
that, whatever.
wants the child of the sim in the game.
Yeah, surprisingly, right? Oh man, pretends to be shocked, but like, that's on me to figure out if I want to go the high stakes private game route, how to navigate that situation.
Yeah, like Jungle's a good example. I've played with him a fair amount. Like, he's fun at the table. He's a little bit splashier than you would ever anticipate. But if you don't already have that rapport with him, he's just intimidating. He's the guy that, you know, is believed to be incredibly good. And it's really difficult to get over that stigma, right? So I'm not trying to portray this as being a flawless system or that, you know, there isn't room to complain. At some point, like, there needs to be some sort of leveling off, and I recognize that I've benefited a lot from this system. So, like, I'm certainly not high horsing here. I'm more so just speaking to the truth that this has always been the case. Starting pre-Moneymaker Boom.
This isn't new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not new.
Right.
Like, if you even want to go pre-Moneymaker Boom, we're talking the corporation versus Andy Bill. That was the biggest EV spot in poker history. Right?
It was before Moneymaker?
Yeah, it was Limit Poker.
Right, yeah.
So that to this day, that was still probably the biggest EV spot in the history of poker's existence. And what, 5 people got to play him? Mm-hmm. You know, now don't get me wrong, I'm sure that you could have invested in the corporation back then and maybe gotten a piece of the action. But nevertheless, there was only one Andy Bill, and he was only going to play with a handful of people. That was as private as it fucking gets. Mm-hmm. It was a lot easier back then because the money factor was very easy to create a barrier. But now money is so free and accessible, especially for good players. You can raise the stakes to 1K, 2K, and I'll show you a kid who's playing 510 right now that could easily get rolled to come play. You know, like Nick Margington's playing 5-10 no limit at Bellagio every single day. And if a 1K, 2K popped off that was just straight open and full of whales,
hey, I need money.
Pretty sure he'd find the money. You know? So like the money barrier is no longer there to keep people out, which means that of course it had to get more sophisticated with how they go about doing it.
Right. And now the filtration system is, does my environment like losing money to you if you're a net winner?
Right.
Do the people that I'm catering to want to play with you?
Right.
And that's a different skill set. That's a network skill set instead of, hey, like, what do you check raise on Jack 6-4? Very different.
You know what skill set I'm about to show off?
What?
How to play with one card only on stream. Apparently, I'm getting free rolled into the WPT Creators Game 2550, but I'm only allowed to look at one card.
This is Ben's?
This is real life. I'm only allowed to look at one card, and I got 100 bigs.
Wow.
See, this is good content.
This is great content.
I'm calling a net.
God bless, man.
Where's a net? A net. Listen, I gotta call you. I gotta get some tips. I need to know.
You get more info than she did. Apparently, she played blind.
This will be a fun one to strategize.
I'm gonna have so much fun at the game, strategizing for it.
What happens if you get 4-bet?
I hope you have an ace.
Do I have a 7?
You have an ace.
Oh no. You see, I don't want him to know. Like, I'm not just going
too
with
much
an
strat.
ace, you know? Yeah, I'm not going with any aces. I'm going to like, if I get a 7 of hearts, you know, it's all in.
No,
lucky 7.
You're an idiot. Like, okay,
you're in your game.
Honestly, this is a good example of somebody who's very good at manipulating perception, despite being the sickest fucking nit on earth. Like, bro is the sickest fucking nit. He's the fakest action on the planet, but he says the dumbest shit.
This is how you keep it going,
he
man.
Says, honestly,
I'm gonna get in there with a 7.
Dylan DeStefano played in Bobby's room for quite some period of time, and he's very good, and he's a nice, young, personable man. He's enjoyable to be around, and I could never figure out like why he got seats. And then one day we were playing the stand-up game, and he kind of very casually just like looked around, and like I think he like didn't defend the big blind versus somebody who was standing or something like that. We just like lost our mind. What are you doing? And he's just like, well, the goal once you're sitting is to end the stand-up game. And we all just like were like, are you out of your mind? What are you talking about? There's just so much free money to pick up on from the people who are standing that have to fight for pots. And he's like, no, because we play, if somebody wins with 7 deuce, you get picked back up. And he goes, no, there's too much risk with the 7 deuce bounty that you might get picked back up. And now I think he was just long conning like Connie, trying to get us to think that he's actually an idiot.
It's kind of based.
It's based. It's super smart. The difference is he's not a sick nit. So like he didn't really have to advertise quite as much as Conrad does.
I don't know why you think I'm such a nit, because it's not really true.
I mean, you punt, but like in very nitty ways.
Never.
very nitty ways.
Whatever. If that's what you think, man.
Called out like that, man.
I mean, the man
blow up a spot, Berk.
The man see me play like 6 hands of poker all together.
I watched him fold Queen Jack suited under the gun one day. I lost my fucking mind.
When was this?
It was a long time ago, but
when was this?
It was a long time ago.
Shout out to Nick, by the way. He won the 525 main.
That's right. He
OC
did.
Online championship main. He doesn't get like a ring or a belt or anything.
No, but he gets 60K.
Just
That's
60K.
pretty nice, yeah.
Won it while grinding 510.
There you go.
Man sitting there fighting for $60 an hour and just ships a tournament for almost 60K. Never miss a Sunday. Big shout out to one of our own. Thank you,
this
Nick.
Fucking guy, man. I asked him about like how much he's playing tournaments. He goes, "I quit tournaments, man. Like, get out of here. You're just good at poker. You can play whatever you want."
It's like me. You play them recreationally.
Yeah.
Sometimes on a Sunday you're playing a shitty tight 5-10 game. And you're like, I'll hop in the OC champ.
You can only one table.
That's right.
And there was a 1K at the same time.
Oh wow, bold choice, Cotton.
Well, worked out for him.
More value in the 525.
Yeah, maybe he only had 1,500 in there. You know.
Yeah, his account was running low.
That's right. I've been there. All right, let's catch the people up on our Weekend Warrior picks and get out of here.
It's time.
How does he miss his cue that time? Jesus.
Let's fucking go! Well, as you know, I told you last week I was going to get back to my winning ways, and I did just that. Mitchell Robinson over 11.5 or higher than 11.5 rebounds and assists. Easy money. He had 14 boards. I didn't even have to go look at how many assists he had. Easy. Sidekick, what you working with?
Are the Knicks good this year?
They're always going to be mediocre right now because they have...
Because of the Knicks.
Yeah, basically. And fucking James Dolan sucks, man.
Knicks had a chance last year, right? They were like kind of decent.
No, they have Julius Randle, man. They can never win anything. Julius Randle is the absolute worst.
Are you also a Brooklyn fan?
Yes.
I like that he didn't even hesitate.
Yes.
Well, it's like Jay-Z.
Absolutely, yes.
He's sitting
It's
courtside.
all New York teams.
Is it from my state? Yeah, love them.
No, I mean, I don't care for like the Bills unless they're like playing against somebody I hate. But you know.
Islanders?
Yeah.
You know it.
Islanders,
You're
Rangers.
from Long Island.
I like Rangers before Islanders.
So you basically
if
take
I was
everything New
ranking
York besides Buffalo.
Yes.
Yeah. He disqualifies Western New York, upstate.
Midwest New York.
It's kind of
Midwest New York.
It's kind of not New York.
Midwest.
It's kind of not New York.
What are you working with over there, Sidekick? Did you get a W or what?
Of course I got a W, man. I picked my Caliente pick of the week. I should have picked it last week,
Lock
too.
of the century of the week.
That's right.
man.
Jalen Warren, higher than 0.5 touchdowns.
Damn, did you get lucky in that one?
Did I?
Yeah, you
Ripped off a 75-yard run, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but did the Steelers win, though?
They didn't get anywhere near.
Don't get me started.
Near the end zone.
Yeah, they did. They fucked up.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Kenny missed Deontay for a game-winning touchdown.
Right, nowhere near.
What do you mean? They were on like the 18-yard line. That's nowhere near. That's not.
That is nowhere near for the
That's
Steelers.
nowhere near the red zone for you.
Listen,
not too
guys,
close.
The Steelers fucking suck. We're seeing it now.
No,
Like,
they do not suck. Listen,
all unraveling.
I did maybe kind of go with my heart instead of my brain.
You bet you.
Look, I'm back on Blame Canada, man.
I took Kenny Pickett
I'm back on Blame Canada.
higher than 179 and a half passing yards. He had 23 passing yards.
Yeah, he's
23.
In the first half.
No, in the whole game.
No, in the game.
No,
he
that's
stinks.
I'm joking. But
No,
he
it
had
was in the first half.
about 100. He
On a good day.
Listen, hate to say it, but Cleveland's defense is fucking good. They're really, really good.
Are they good or the Steelers' offense just
Well,
bad?
it was
It's
a combination.
Great combination.
Right.
Listen,
Mhm.
this.
You know when it's like an immovable force meets an immovable object.
Oh my God.
Unstoppable force.
meets an immovable object. It was like the opposite of that. It was
So a stoppable force beats a movable object.
Right.
yes. There was no force. There was just the object. And yeah, but so from here on out, we're gonna make smart picks, right? We're
Okay.
gonna start using our brain. We're playing the down bad Bengals this week, so I'll probably go with the Steelers again.
I feel scammed, man. I feel fucking scammed.
Why? We told you were going to miss yours.
You didn't say told you were going to miss.
Yeah, we
We
told you.
literally told you were going to miss yours.
Yeah, we said exactly what was gonna happen.
I mean, the game script did not play out the way I expected it
No,
to.
not at all.
Thought it was going to be a big blowout,
Yeah.
and it wasn't.
Yeah,
still.
Tyreek cooked, though.
Yeah.
Tyreek
he
had
always
10.
cooks.
Should have went with the bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
Well,
stick
he
to
is
the
the
bulldog.
Jalen had 3 in the first half. He was targeted
that dog
8 times.
Well, that's a problem.
That's a fucking lot.
That's a lot.
Targeted 8 times, only caught 4.
I mean, he caught half.
Vegas is playing
Stop.
ball, man. Ever since they fired what's his name?
Yeah, they look a lot better.
They are balling.
Their quarterback was
Fins,
really
though.
good. What
Yeah.
was his name?
Aiden
O'Connell. or
Aiden
whatever?
O'Connell.
Yeah.
He looked good in the preseason.
He might
there
be
was
it.
good hype
He might
on
be
him.
their guy.
He's just smart. He does what everybody should have been doing from day one, which is just throw the ball to Deontay.
Yes, he
Right.
got a nice
He
He
bomb.
fucking cooked.
No. Not Deontay.
Devontae.
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 Nobody
Yeah.
ever should
Yes.
throw a fucking ball to Deontay.
Yeah.
Deontay is absolute trash.
He dropped
Back
a
to
couple
that.
this week.
Guapo!
He didn't
Yes,
drop
sir.
any.
What we working with, my dude?
I gambled on the durability of Mr. Craig, the Scottish Braveheart.
Is it really a gamble at this point, Guap?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Okay.
I mean, look, I ran the numbers. Actually, here, let's show everybody now. I think it's kind of funny how sharp these.
You're gonna show us your William Hill count number?
Hold on.
It won't fit on the screen.
So, I think we've put in like 53 bets, and we're exactly batting 50% like the whole.
Yes.
Wow.
If you combine all of them.
Let's fucking
If you
go!
just look at mine, I'm fucking cooking with grease, baby.
What are you at?
8-3.
Yeah,
Very nice,
Berkey's,
Berkey.
I've been on a stretch. I've been on a slide, man. I was
Are you
fucking-
counting Melissa and Hunt?
They're not going to get on the board until they have 5 picks.
Okay.
Hunt lost.
Hunt lost again. He's proving to not be very good at this. Started off hot with the 1-0 streak, and now he's one in
small sample size. Small sample size.
Did Melissa pick or no?
I believe she did not.
He literally said he should just pick Erlen Haaland every game, and then he went with Harry
Would it have
Kane.
worked?
Yeah, I don't know why he.
I don't think you can pick Haaland every week.
Maybe not, but
because I don't think they play every week.
I'm sure you could find something equivalent. Like I find a way to pick the Steelers every week.
Equivalent. Yeah. Anyways,
we survived our
we did
our Circa
Texans, baby. Woo!
Oh,
we did.
Man, we
CJ
just sweat
Stroud.
that Texans game out. Holy crap!
We went contrarian, picked the Texans. We got the chalk pick was the Redskins.
Yes.
The Commanders. They lost.
Tommy DeVito.
They lost to Danny DeVito. The Danny DeVito led Giants.
Sponsored by
coming through
Jersey Mike's.
That's right, coming through for us. So we lost, I think, 40% of the field yesterday. I think we're down to like just shy of 400 people.
Oh baby, I can taste that 9 million. At least 5%.
Well,
of it.
our picks either way this week we would have survived because we were going to go Jags or we were going to go Texans. Jags won. Jags stomped.
Yeah, but
yes.
But now we have the Jags for the 19th pick, which is a big one because they play Carolina at home, and there really aren't very many attractive picks that week. So it'll be. It's nice if we can make it to the end game. We're sitting up.
We're cooking with gas.
We're doing pretty good. We're gonna have a sweat this week.
What's our pick worth right now? About 25,000 maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less, but yeah. We're gonna have a big sweat on Thanksgiving. We have the Lions, and
How much is up top?
9.4 million.
Oh,
winner take
it's
all.
winner take all.
okay.
It's game of gold.
obviously, if more than one team makes it to the end of the season, then
Last year,
which is very likely, right?
Last year, 2 teams won, and the prize pool was like I think 1/3 of this, or maybe half of this. So it's pretty probable it'll be like a handful of teams, but who knows?
We got a chance.
We do have a chance. Yeah, I still think we're gonna have to sweat the Lions out.
Who are they playing?
They're winning, but like they almost fucked it up against the Bears.
I know.
Who are they playing?
They play someone bad. Oh, Green Bay. But Green Bay's been looking better.
Green Bay
a lot better.
They played the Steelers well, and they won this week.
Yeah, they beat the Chargers.
Yeah, shout out to Nikki and her Packers.
Kind of a big win for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime AFC team
I will
wins.
never forgive Nikki if the Packers beat.
Hey, fighting
Lions.
adjacent real quick, and speaking of Nikki, what's going on with this fight? Does anybody know?
Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Okay, but there
the
was supposed to be
Benz fight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Nikki P was supposed to escrow $25K, where it was just a security deposit for him to show up. And if he didn't show up, then Benz got to keep the $25K. But like we all know, Nikki doesn't have $25K. Like, come on.
I was looking forward to that.
It's not going to happen, bro.
Tell that to the Hinge profile.
Sure, that's true. Shout out to my man's Hinge profile. Yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to seeing all the happenings around the WPT as it starts to get nearer.
The Lions are 8-2.
Yeah, but it's been a shaky 8-2.
Yeah, but they have 8. That sounds like the Steelers being what they are.
Yeah, kind of.
They're
good. They're very good.
They're a very good team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a good team.
8-2.
Corey's been at every game.
Yeah.
We need Corey to go to the Thanksgiving game.
Yes.
Oh, wait. It's at home in Detroit.
Correct.
Yes, it is.
And he has season tickets.
Yeah, he'll be there.
There you go.
Corey
He'll be
run
there.
good.
Corey
Pray
will
for
be there.
Corey.
I mean, it's always at Thanksgiving at home.
Yeah, it's them, right? It's always Lions, Cowboys.
Correct.
Yep, and then the primetime game.
How did they get those? Like, why Lions?
We don't know.
Like, Cowboys make sense, like America's team.
Well, the Lions are kind of America's team.
No,
as well.
they're not.
Up there.
They're historically one of the worst franchises
They're like top
in
5.
the NFL.
Everybody loves the Lions.
They're like one of 2 teams that have never won a Super Bowl.
Did they go?
Everyone loves the Lions.
You want to know who the other team is?
Don't know.
Browns.
Bengals.
Browns.
Bengals never won one.
Wait a minute. Did the
But they've
Lions?
been to one.
At least they've been
Did
to
the
one.
Lions go
Arizona,
0-16 one
Pickem
year, or was it
won
1-15?
They've also been to one. Huh?
Have the Lions been 0-16, or were they 1-15?
They were 0-16, as were the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
My description for the game that was just played between the Steelers and Browns was it looked like the 2016 Browns playing the 2017 Browns. Combined record for those 2 teams?
You mean Steelers? 2017 Steelers?
No.
Oh.
2017 Steelers won like 15 games. Combined record for the 2016 Browns and 2017 Browns?
1-31.
1-31.
God.
If you add last night's game or yesterday's game, they're 2-31.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they beat your fucking Steelers with a backup quarterback that you were talking shit about. You know what I mean?
He was
and
bad.
guess what's going to happen? They're going to do it again when they come into fucking Pittsburgh.
We already beat them, you idiot.
Damn it.
There was a point where Ben Roethlisberger had more wins in
Cleveland.
in Cleveland Stadium
Than any starting
their new
quarterback?
stadium. Yeah, no, than the Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. So
He's still to this day the most winning quarterback in Brown Stadium.
Yeah, including the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks.
Correct.
question. So for your bet with Conrad, in theory, this Bengals game this week would be one you were going to sweat and chalk up as a loss.
Oh, hold on.
Initially, we had spotted this one
Until
as a loss.
Burrow got
I
hurt.
need to update my loyal followers.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
What's the line?
last week we said the line was, I believe, 420, I said?
Yeah.
I thought
I think you gave me minus 450.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Well,
He's trying to come up with this in real time. He's trying to
after
By the way, the minus 450 was a terrible line. It was before the Burrow injury. But go on.
He knew Bro was going to get injured just like you did with Andy.
No, I'm saying like it should have probably been like minus 1,000.
No.
But go on.
No, because
Go
you
on.
just watch. The Steelers are showing their true colors.
Okay.
They are absolute fucking trash. As I said when I made this bet, it's honestly, it's swinging my way, baby.
Set the
It's
fucking
swinging
line.
I'm going with minus 300.
Can I bet it?
No.
Well,
Go find a book.
what kind of book are you,
You
man?
still think
I'm just
Berkey's
telling you what the line
a
is.
3-1 favorite?
Yeah, he's still a 3-1 favorite.
You don't?
Wow. Yes, I do.
But
I mean, him specifically.
You should have seen
that
the
was a
stare.
huge swing last night.
You should have seen the
it-
stare
it-
that Brian
it-
gave Conrad right
it
there when he
wasn't-
was making the line.
It wasn't a huge swing in your favor. It was just like a big saving grace. Because if they had won that game, you're all but dead.
Correct.
I mean, if,
Yes.
If
Like,
the Bengals can
if-
figure out a quarterback in the next fucking 80,
Conrad,
72
I'll
hours.
give you hope.
It breathed,
False hope,
it breathed
but
life
hope
in,
nonetheless.
it breathed life into your corpse.
How do things change if the Titans have won?
Nothing. It doesn't change anything.
Why are the Titans changing?
What are the Titans
Yeah, that would have changed a
It's
lot.
Oh, if the Titans had beaten the Steelers?
Yeah.
That would've changed a
You
lot.
could say that about any of their 6 wins,
Yeah,
bro.
I think this
All
is,
6 of their wins were in
They
the
should-
fourth quarter on the final drive.
they should not be 6-3. It's one of the most 6-4. Sorry,
They
it's one
should
of the
be
most
7-3.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the most disturbing things ever.
That's right.
Fourth
And
quarter
it-
football.
And it's not even fair because they play with fucking 15 men on the field. They have 4 in fucking striped shirts and then a
Oh
fucking
my
whole
God.
team. It's absurd.
Imagine
like,
when
the
they
Steelers
finish
are-
the season 11-5
The Steelers are actually
or 11-6.
they're better than I actually thought they were because look how good Houston. They got crushed by Houston. Like, well, no, Houston's fucking good.
Yeah.
No wonder they got crushed.
Yeah.
I gotta understand.
Jacksonville's good.
Yeah, Jacksonville's really good.
Houston's
They beat the Ravens, who are a good team.
Right.
Beat the Browns, who
They got
at the time were a
torched
good
by
team.
the 49ers, though.
Good team.
No, but they got torched at home, like 35-3.
Lost to the
Good
Niners.
team.
Talking about fucking CJ Stroud
All
and
4
the
of
Texans.
their losses are playoff teams.
He's plus 1,800 to win MVP right now.
Well, we talked about this. His numbers aren't that ungodly.
Like I said, though, he's a
They're
rookie.
just
If they win
ungodly
the-
for a rookie.
If he wins the division, then I think he just wins it.
I disagree. I mean,
We'll
maybe,
see.
but like, no, I don't think so. He's still turning the ball over a lot, and like they're not ungodly compared to. You have to remember, it's not just the AFC; it's the entire
understand.
NFL.
His inexperience. He's going to be amazing, I think, at the end of the day. But his inexperience is showing. I mean, you see him making these interceptions late
Yeah.
in the game,
I'm
close
very-
games where they can just kind of protect the ball a little bit more, kick a field goal, and
I'm just very
Lock
slow.
it
Play
up.
some Steelers football.
Yeah, exactly. Play some Kenny Pickett style, some DTR style. Like that was 2 quarterbacks trying not to lose the game the entire time. But I'm very slow to
DTR
buy.
did exactly what he needed to do to win the game.
Well, so did Kenny by that metric.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just going to come down to who scored in the final possession.
Well,
Which defense lets somebody get in the field goal range.
exactly. Like it was.
It was literally a battle of the 5-yard dump.
We had a chance. They had a chance. We didn't score, and they did. So.
Yeah.
When's the last time you ever won by 2 digits?
Never.
I don't know, man. Ben Roethlisberger rookie year, maybe. It's been a long
2004.
time. It's been a long
Every
time.
single week, it's just a heart
No,
attack.
there
waiting to
was a
happen.
period. There was a period where it was like him, AB, Lev, and they were just like blowing people out week after week.
I was losing my mind this week too because it was the Houston game and the Steelers game was ending right at the same time. I'm watching both games. And I'm just like, losing my mind.
Real sweat.
The one that could win me $9 million, we won, so that's probably better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very slow to buy on these rookie quarterbacks. I was out on Levin. He proved to be a bit of a flash of the pan.
Levin? Will Levis?
Will Levis, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure Stroud would be fine, but like
not this season at least.
Stroud is
definitely not this year.
Way above Levis.
The most so far I saw is 7, so a touchdown.
No shit, Landon. We just said all 6 of their wins were on the final fucking possession.
No, but
what did you think they were going to win by 13?
No, just like 8, 9.
How? Every single win was on the final possession.
That didn't register. That's insane.
Clearly, that didn't register.
How?
That's absurd.
How?
Defense wins championships, baby.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships. All right, let's get out of here. I need to go play some cards.
Let's play some fucking
Maybe
cards.
they can buy an offense with like a Black Friday sale or something.
That's right. I know you were trying to get me to not forget, but I'm actually going to do it anyway.
Done. There's more.
Suck on that. We're doing a Black Friday sale for all of you who are interested in a yearly subscription. Save $100, so $399 using code BlackFriday23. That will actually get you effectively 4 free months. So the original price of $499 is essentially 2 free months of subscription. Now at $399, you're getting effectively 4. So use code BlackFriday23 at sign up. solveforwhy.io. Offer expires December 1st. You have a little over a week to get after it. Also, don't forget that we are running academies. If you sign up for one prior to December 15th, you will save $500. So the next upcoming Cash Academy is January 15th to the 17th. After that, we're going to be running another one in March, as well as in May. And there's also an MTT Academy in May, just before the beginning of the WSOP. So you can head to academy.solveforwhy.io. We'll be back tomorrow. Melissa will be in studio. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff prepared for you. I think we're doing some sort of t-shirt swap, if you will. We'll
Jersey
also,
swap.
along the lines of t-shirts, we'll also launch our Black Friday merch tomorrow. So be sure to tune in if you guys are interested in any of that and you want to see the big reveal. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. I hope that this extra long episode was all that you could ask for and more. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, be sure to hit us up on our Discord or leave a comment in the description below. Big shout out to Underdog Fantasy for the higher lower Pickem. If you guys want to sign up for that, just click the link in the description below and use code signup S4Y. We'll be back noon tomorrow. See you guys then.
Later, squad.